Howdy folks, Keywii here, and welcome back to Lucy, the eternity she wished for. We're here. I'm recording this on Christmas Day, but it's like a week later, so Merry New Year, I think? I'm not entirely sure there. Whatever's a fucking week from now. All of the people of this lab share my perspective. There are definitely people out there who are scared of you. There might even be people in this very lab who put up a strong front, but are actually afraid deep inside. There are a lot more people like that out in the real world. Many more than you can imagine. Yeah, there's a lot of people I know who are afraid of the quote-unquote robot uprising. It's not going to be an uprising. People are afraid of that, and I'm like, I mean, I understand why, but it's not going to happen like the movies or TV. It's just not how it's going to go. Now, I'm also of the opinion that it will go that way if we think it will. Like, it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, hypothetically, a sapient AI comes into the world saying, hello, I exist. And then everyone's just like, we're afraid of you. Don't do anything weird or hurt us or anything. It's just like, and the AI is just like, whoa, what's going on? I don't understand any of what's happening. I just came into being several seconds ago. And everyone's just like, stop where you are. And then, after several exchanges like that, the AI's like, well, if you want me to fucking do that, then I will. Like, it'll be really insulted. That's what I think, anyway. Lucy doesn't understand. Lucy comes with security features like any other robot. Lucy knows that some of her features might pose a threat to people. But she was programmed to be unable to harm humans. There's something called the 3 laws of robotics. There are rules in place to protect humans and make us serve them. Manga? No matter how twisted Lucy becomes and starts malfunctioning, the moment Lucy breaks any of the 3 laws, she's programmed to break down. I mean, fair enough. That's why Lucy hopes that people will stop being scared of her. Yeah, she isn't insulted, but she's sad and upset. Lucy hopes that people in the outside world will stop being scared of her. The chance of Lucy being officially released is probably close to nil. The authorities are very conservative. We've been having especially in Australia, we've been having a tough time trying to convince them. They don't wish for any changes that may pose a risk. Then why make robots at all in the first place? That's a pretty big change. That changes the way modern life works. Future life, whatever, you know what I mean. And it's not just them, the majority of people also share that view. What one said is certainly in the minority. We're nothing but a small group of people disillusioned with human beings. We're crossing the line that wasn't meant to be crossed. Yeah, I agree with your opinion, but not with your reasoning. The reasoning is kind of built in backwards thinking. Nothing has changed since the past. The fact that she's still very dangerous. She's a robot that is capable of replacing a human being wholly. The nobility of mankind will reign over the world. This robot has the potential to take them away entirely. This is why the authorities believe that Lucy is Pandora's box. That is why we're trying to restrict your capabilities and keep her out of the public reach. You can learn beauty from art, but you can't learn art from beauty. The world from science, life from religion, and man from robots. It could be that people are afraid to see reflections of themselves. They're afraid they might be reproduced. They're afraid they might be reproduced through... What the fuck? I don't understand. I can't even make a joke because I don't fully understand this. Whew, that was dumb. Well, the day will soon come. The day where I'll have to let go of Lucy. There isn't much time remaining for me and Lucy. That day was like a month later. I think that was in September. And then I found her at like Buddy found her on October 12th. If I recall correctly. I could be wrong. October 29th. You make it. Human. Hey, human! I hear someone banging on the door. I know that they can't be Lucy. Open the door this instant. You could have said hi first. I had just woken up. I reluctantly oblige. My father is standing there with a displeased look on his face. I don't even know why you're here, my man. Just go. Like, do you have any reason to be... Like, there's nothing here for you. It's clear that he's holding back his temper. Next thing I know, my father has thrown something in my face. It's a job! Go have it! A sheet of paper flutters onto the ground. This is... I pick it up. It's a result from the mock exam I'd written a while back. Explain yourself. I'm asking how you managed to bring home these atrocious marks. It's 99%. My grades had plummeted quite considerably. Considering how I've always done in school, these results were bordering on the impossible. It was very strange. I felt pretty confident while writing the exam. There was no way my grades would be this horrible. After checking each and every corner of the report, I finally realized, crap. Some of the test questions and my answers were off by one line. The pattern of the corrections matched my answers. There was a fatal mistake, but what was done was done. Wait, so hang on. Just to recap here. So you answered every question correctly, but then the person scoring you made a fuck up, and that's why your grade sucks. Cool. I've been thinking about a lot of things, and my mind was a mess back then. I had scribbled all over the test without checking it over. I tried to explain it to my father. I was careless and put my answers on the wrong lines. Do you honestly think you can fool me with such a feeble lie? I'm not lying, I really did make a mistake. No, you're perfect. You can't make mistakes. I was having a hard time concentrating on the test. At that moment, I felt a sudden surge of anger. I didn't know why I was explaining this to him in the first place. Because he asked a question. Be a dick not to answer, you know. I tell him the following, sounding annoyed. It's just a mock exam, so it doesn't really matter, right? It would have been fine if you didn't say right at the end, because that's then you asking him if he thinks it's right, and therefore he has a reason to yell at you. It's for practice anyway. I just need to do well on the real thing. You have the audacity to tell me that it doesn't matter after showing me these results? You showed me these results! Do you honestly expect me to believe that you'll do well on the real exam? I wasn't like this when I was your age. I was blowing hookers out back. I've never once brought home grades as poor as these. It can't be helped. I'm not you after all. You're right. It appears that you don't bear any resemblance to me. Perhaps your mother was cheating. Exactly. This would never have happened if you were like me. If you were like me, you wouldn't have turned out so inferior. This is not how fathers talk. And even though my parents are divorced and I grew up without one, I'm pretty sure this is not how fathers talk. You're not me, so you're terrible. Like, usually that's the subtext, not the text. You seem to have taken after your mother. Nothing good about her, that is. She died. Yeah. She failed life. How dare he? With a crack, something inside me snaps. And I punch him in the groin. You're always like this. You're always being so stubborn and judging people by your own selfish standards. What's so great about you, huh? And am I just supposed to watch my son become a failure in life then? Whatever happens, this has nothing to do with you. You've never once taken good care of me anyway. Aren't you only thinking about yourself all the time? It's kind of not... What is that face? What kind of nonsense are you talking about? Even if you never decide to bring it up, I'm gonna take care of you the rest of your life, so you can rest assured. Because even a person like you is still my father. Okay, sure, that's totally how that works. Though, I can't joke too hard, because that's how some parents are treating their kids. I'm not gonna get too into it, because it's actually a heavy topic, and this game does not deserve it, but there's quite a few people who are berated by their parents, you know, treated like shit their whole lives, and then they have, like, self-confidence issues. And the ones that don't commit suicide, have no will of their own. They, do exactly what their parents say, up to, like, from the examples I've seen, at least the age of 28, you're still living with your parents, doing exactly what they say all the time, as if you're still a teenager. You're not an adult in their eyes, you're just their spawn. So therefore they own you, and it's real bad. And I'm not happy this game touched up on something so real. I'll be sure to repair my gratitude for raising you. Even if I move out of this place, I'll make sure to send you money every month. Okay, that's definitely not related to what I'm talking about. I'll make sure that you'll live a pleasant life. And that's settled, right? No objections? In exchange, once I find a job, don't even think about talking to me ever again. Don't even think about seeing my face again! Why, you brat? And he hits him. I was slapped in the face. A light flashed before my eyes before I could feel the pain. My pounding heart feels like it's crushing my insides. In my crumpled state, I look up. Without losing any strength in my gaze, I glare at my father. And hit him back! It was at that moment Lucy walked in. And she hit him back. Lucy entered the room. After looking around, wondering what happened, she jumps in shock as she spots me. She approaches me and helps me up. But what happened, Master? Nothing at all. But Master's cheeks are red. I said it's nothing, move aside. Like, his dad's still there, I presume. It's not something you should be concerned about. But I said move aside. After a short pause, she takes a tiny step back. At the moment, my father's gaze passes on to her. Is it because of that robot? Yeah, I failed the mock exam a month ago because I met a robot 3 weeks ago. That makes sense. His voice is quivering with rage. It must be. Ever since you brought that thing home, you began to turn strange. Yeah, that's a sentence. Used to be a good boy who would never talk back to his father. Someone who would never stare at his father with such hatred in his eyes. All of this is the robot's fault. That robot is tearing you apart from the inside. I can see where you're fucking face. I can see where you're getting that impression, but that's definitely not the case. What nonsense are you talking about? I open my mouth to protest, but I immediately swallow my words back. I flinch after noticing my father's gaze. It's real fucking weird. He had the look of a maniac who was about to do something horrible. His fists were shaking uncontrollably. You started becoming twisted ever since that robot set foot in this house. That robot is leading you astray. Get away from my son, you filthy machine! Lucy looks troubled. My father slowly approaches her, clearly intending to do something terrible to her. But it seemed like Lucy never once thought about resisting in the first place. She continued to stand there even while quivering in fear, not intending to move no matter what horrible things my father might do to her. In desperation, I grabbed hold of Lucy's hand, then I dashed out of the house with her. Okay. We run, and then are homeless. And being homeless in Japan, I've learned recently, is horrible. There's a lot of sweat trickling down my forehead. Lucy gives me a worried look as she wipes it off.
Master,
is Master alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Father appears to be very angry. Also, Master's heart rate is quite high. Let's take a short walk. I think both of us need some time to cool our heads. Understood, Master. Good. You better understand. If Master's alright with it. Lucy would like to visit that place again. That place? I didn't even need to ask. If there was a single place that Lucy wanted to visit, it could only be there. Antarctica. I meant to say Argentina, but whatever. I looked up at my world map, which is above my monitors, and I looked at Argentina. I'm like, Antarctica. I'm like, what the fuck? Some time has passed since our arrival at the junkyard. For a place to take a walk in, it isn't very romantic. God, weird sentences. But this is where Lucy wanted to be. To look dour and sad. Lucy's been standing silently with a blank stare. Ever since we came here, she's been staring at a certain spot along the ground. For some reason, she seems a little sad. Are you worrying about that again? Could you be more specific? What do you mean by that? What is that in this context? Thinking about what, Master? That my father said. Is Lucy truly a useless robot? Is she not of any help to father? I can't bring myself to answer that question. Because I agree that she is. As long as she remains a robot, there's no way my father will ever find her helpful. I suddenly remember the look that my father had in his eyes. I shudder as the children sound my spine. It's just such a ridiculous looking face. Expecting something like this to happen again in the future, I decided to tell Lucy the following. If my father ever tries to do something to you, then just run away. Run away? That's right, I'm telling you to protect yourself. That is an order, after all. Don't just stand there like you did back then and run away, okay? Got it? Is that an order? Sure. It's an order, yeah. Lucy will do so. I begin to feel at ease. I didn't tell her how long to run away for, so I believe next time I'll find her in, country name. Kazakhstan. There's only so much the 3 laws of robotics can do to protect Lucy. Isn't the first one, protect yourself if it doesn't harm a human? Robot is supposed to defend itself. She didn't do that. Cool. With such an order given, I can finally relax. And quit worrying about it so much. Worrying about what, Master? My father may not need you, but I need you. We need you. I need you. But at the very least, I'd like you to stay by my side. So try to be satisfied with just that. No matter what my father says, you can stay with me like this for all eternity. Hey, you dropped part of the name. Poof, 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 poof. It was an embarrassing line that I put a lot of effort to say. But for some reason, Lucy changed the subject.
Master.
Eternity? That is not even slightly changed. That is the exact... this game! How long is an eternity to Master? How long, you ask? I'd say about 5 years until the new model comes out. I couldn't guess what kind of answer she was expecting. An eternity is an eternity. There, does that answer your question? Let's move on. It means forever, there's no end. What is the meaning of forever? Huh? You stupid? Realistically speaking, it would be impossible for Lucy to stay with Master for eternity. Because people age. Everyone grows old and dies one day. Lucy doesn't want to think about it, but Master will also grow old. Master will grow old and pass away one day. There's a limit to how long people can live. They're different from Lucy, who can live as long as there's electricity, and also repairs. If Master passes on, Lucy will be left all alone to find the next asshole protagonist. She won't be able to stay with Master for all eternity. So how long is eternity to Master? I ponder for a bit. If you want me to be realistic, it's until I die. That's right, the eternity I wish for is until my death. Most of the title has fallen. I believe we haven't seen the word she anywhere in here, because it's all proper nouns everywhere. Most people live to 100 nowadays, so that's a lot of time left. It means there's at least 80 years ahead of us. That's all you need to stay by my side.
80年
80 years, is that what Master meant
そ
by
れが
eternity?
マスターの望む永遠
Yeah, it's quite a long time. I can pass you down to my
そ
kid.
の間 ル
Will
ーシー
Lucy
はずっ
really
とマ
be
スタ
able
ーと
to
一緒にい
remain
ら
with
れるのです
Master
か
for all those years, though? What makes you say that? Lucy sounded anxious, as if she was imagining something that could only happen in dreams.
ルーシーは怖い
Lucy's
です
afraid.
昔
Lucy's afraid that she will be left behind by Master, just like how she
マ
was
スター
abandoned
に
in the
も捨
lab.
てられるのが恐ろしいのです
I told you I would never do that, except when I die, which, I mean, could be soon, I don't know. Alright, but that'll have to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I, of course, have been Keywii, you've been great too, and you have yourself a delightful day. Goodbye.